Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world, and welcome to the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. And this morning, we're going to be talking about laptops and Chromebooks. But first, let's make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to introduce themselves. So, Vivek, would you like to begin since you were here first?
Namaste. My name is Vivekananda. Literally, it means wisdom and happiness. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. I aim to bring time-tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, and amplifying simple technology and tools. I achieve this by developing software as necessary. Together at Wake, we wake up our potential. That is my elevator pitch. And I am in Reading, England, United Kingdom. The weather has been getting colder and colder by the day, and it's been a clear day today, but given the time of the year, a clear day also means a cold day. At least for me.
Right. Well, welcome here, Vivek. And in advance, I want to thank you. Vivek is going to share my presentation. He's going to do the screen share aspect. Oh, here goes somebody else. Here comes somebody there. Fred, I think you were here next.
Yes, thanks, LowellAnn. I'm Fred Jones. I'm the creator of Our Future Leaders, where we assist young people to gain those all-important communication and leadership skills. I'm also the ambassador for Agra Speakers International, and I'm planning to go to Nepal next year in February to work in the school systems to help introduce the programs, youth programs there. So I'm excited about that.
Wow.
I'm located in View Royal, which you may probably not know, most people, unless you're in Victoria area. And it's currently 9 degrees according to my phone and going up to 15 degrees centigrade today, once again, according to the phone. So happy to be here. Haven't seen everyone for a while, so it's nice to see everyone.
Right on. So I'm excited about that trip that you're going to take. Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you're going to be gone for the better part of a year.
It'll be 6 months probably.
6 months.
Because I go to the British Virgin Islands to visit a friend in about 2.5 weeks time, and then fly back to Canada, and then immediately to Australia to visit my daughter, and then from there to Nepal.
I'm envious. So I'm hoping though that you'll be able to join us periodically from wherever you are.
It depends on the time zone. I think
Yeah.
it's probably around 4 o'clock in the morning or something
In
Australia.
Australia, yeah. I guess you're not going to do that.
I might. Who knows? I might have
And probably it would be the
insomnia.
next day. It would be Wednesday for you,
It
probably.
will be.
Yeah.
So confusing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're here this morning, Fred. And Paul, how are you doing? Paul is in my neighborhood in Victoria.
Why, yes, I am. And we have a lovely day shaping up here. I'm still full of turkey from our Thanksgiving yesterday. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving meal. My organization, TTG International Management, businesses need to go along a road to success. And along that road, sometimes they need somebody to help them guide with a little guidance. And sometimes they need some people to come in and do some heavy lifting. And we think of ourselves as sort of their Sherpas along that journey. So,
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, I did the turkey thing on Sunday, and yesterday I did some work. But here, speaking about the weather, we are in a drought situation here in Victoria. We haven't had rain since June. And now that the sun is lower in the sky, my place is so hot, it's just unbelievable. So I'll be glad when it clouds over, so I get a little bit of relief. So welcome here, Paul. And Alana, long time no see. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Just fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't been able to sit in the last few sessions, but yeah, my company is ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, and I write copy and content for small businesses to help them increase sales and conversions. And yeah, I've been having a lot of meetings recently. Like this week is pretty booked with meetings because I've been invited to these networking groups on LinkedIn, and they've turned out to be really a good experience.
Wonderful.
So actually, I can only stay on here until around 4:30 because I have another meeting to attend. But yes, I've been attending networking events and connecting with people here and abroad. And so yeah, it's been quite nice. And it is getting colder here. I just ordered my oil today, and thank God I was sitting down because I would have fallen off my chair with the price. But there you go.
Right. Well, and I'm interested to hear you say that you've been doing things on LinkedIn, and because I've been noticing there's a lot of changes and a lot of things happening in LinkedIn, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, and I haven't been active on LinkedIn, but people have been finding me, so I suppose that's a good thing. And one of the networking events was an event here in Ireland, and another one was for a group of people from all over. So yeah, so that's been quite interesting to attend because, like I said, I haven't been actively searching, and I just sit in on them to see what they're all about with really no expectations.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's another one tomorrow that is here in Ireland, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Mhm. It seems as though things are finally beginning, like the networking things seem to be sort of gradually re-energizing, I guess, after COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it is still online, but
Mhm.
one of the events I'm attending, I think it's next week. It starts at 6 o'clock, I think. That's right down the street from me. It's actually a local networking group here that I'm going to go check out. So
Mhm.
yeah, all these networking groups are starting to pop up. So I think it's great. People are finally ready to get out,
No kidding.
get back to work, I guess,
Right on. Well, welcome here, and you have to leave early, and I have to leave promptly as well because I have an appointment just around the corner. So I'll be grabbing my jacket and purse and making a mad dash. So so I get it. So now, David, I hope you're parked somewhere. Can't hear you.
Yeah, you somehow I got muted. Yeah, I'm parked. I'm here for an hour. I'm traveling all over. I've been in this Saturday and Sunday I was in central Iowa. Yesterday I was in central Wisconsin, and today I'm in central Illinois.
Wow.
And I'm about 3 hours from home right now, and running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
Right.
You're starting a election campaign or something?
Yeah, that's right. I'm starting my presidential campaign.
You wanted to give your elevator pitch?
No, not right now. I'm sorry. I don't know it, and I don't have it written up there in front of me. I'm I've got Daisy with me.
Oh yeah.
She's riding along. And so I'm Dave Flannery with Affordable Websites for Small Business, and the reason I'm running around is because I also work with Team Flannery, our eXp Realty Illinois Team Flannery, and I've got selling a house down here in central Illinois. Wisconsin, I went up with my daughter. In Iowa, I went out to see my son. So,
right on.
getting well done. The reason all this basically seeing family is it's my birthday today, and I'm 65 years old. I'm not afraid to admit it. And
Happy birthday, Dave.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The other thing is that I'm not able to monitor YouTube because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I gathered that.
So anyway.
So well, I'm glad you joined us, and I do want to say it looks like Javita is recording us because she's it says Javita's Otter.ai. So I don't know why she's recording us because this is going to be on YouTube. But maybe in view of last month when nothing came through to YouTube because of an OBS update. But there's been another OBS update since then, and I think it's working the way it should. I don't know if anybody else can go to YouTube and see if it's coming through. Anyway, and Nathan just joined us. Nathan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Nathan here from Mexico, transplanted Canadian. Yeah, the main thing I'm working on these days is helping people doing list building. Mm-hmm. So in other words, opt-in pages, have a high value giveaway, stuff like that. And then the email marketing afterwards. Another way you could do it is with the sales page, but that's really time consuming. Mm-hmm. I've chosen to take a shortcut because it's a lot easier for me and anybody I work with. So right that's on. It.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll give you my elevator pitch as Coach LowellAnn. I love supporting retired third agers who are experiencing overwhelm, uncertainty, and procrastination as they take the first steps in creating their online business. With my solopreneur coaching service, you can choose the level of support that makes sense to you. Whether that's done by you, done with you, or done for you. So to find out more, please visit my website at LowellAnn.com. And I also wanted to just mention while I was doing this, if anybody's curious about the most recent website that I created, you might like to visit arcticcarvings.com. So that is a major project that I am now in the process of trying to promote. So now then, I'm not sure whether Javita can come in and introduce herself or not. I'm kind of guessing maybe not. So I have
I just checked on YouTube and everything seems to be okay. I didn't see the intro or any of that, but live streaming, I just checked and everything seems to be okay.
Okay. So, and with all this back and forth thing, what have I done? I've lost my presentation, so I got to go find it. Let's see.
Just took a quick look at your site. It looks pretty decent. The photography looks really nice.
Which one? The Arctic
The Arctic,
Carvings? Arctic Carvings, yeah.
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah.
That was I did all of those using a light box.
Yes, Lightbox is absolutely essential for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
used to do jewelry photography, and I built a custom Lightbox for doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, you would. You built it yourself. Well,
I built it myself. Oh yeah.
I just bought mine from Amazon.
Yeah. Well, that's another way of doing it. I built mine out of PVC tubing and some white cloth, and then I just had a couple of photo flood lights outside. Worked just great.
Yeah.
But then again, I know what I'm doing. I mean, I've worked as a photographer for a long time.
Right.
I know how to do these things. So
Well, I just did it all just using my phone.
cool.
That's really what I did. Yeah. Okay. So, what is this from Paul, Javita, and Andrew Hatchett on YouTube? Oh, cool. Right on. Greetings, Andrew. A long time no see, and I'm glad that Javita is able, but I'm hearing an echo, and I don't know why that would be. So, then, Vivek, if you can share your screen, that would be wonderful. Yes, it is showing up. So, you might be curious when I said we're going to talk about laptops and Chromebooks. The subtitle, as you can see, is Find a New Life for Your Old Laptop. Now, I might ask, how many of you have an old laptop pining away in a cupboard somewhere that you don't use anymore?
Yeah, two.
Rebecca says too. And I put that question out among some friends last night after choir, and they all had them. Partially because they don't know what to do with an old technology. So this is going to maybe some of you may find this kind of interesting.
I think Alana said 3. She has 3 laptops.
Oh. Right.
Well, the reason I have 3 is because one was my really old one. The other one is my daughter's that she left behind. Actually, 2 of them are hers. The other 2 are hers. Yeah. So one is mine and 2 is hers. And she took her MacBook with her, and I bought a new one. So.
Aha. Okay. So, so this may be of interest to you. So, if we could move on, Vivek. Just a little bit of a background to this. In my online travels, I stumbled on something that really seemed to fit my situation and piqued my interest. And I think the last time we met, I threw that out, and seemed to be some interest in it as well. But it certainly fit my situation in that I'm trying to sort of watch and prepare for what is upcoming, because I know that my desktop, my Microsoft desktop, is not going to be able to handle Windows 11. So I know that the life of my desktop even is kind of in the balance. I think it'll be probably another year or so that Microsoft supports Windows 10. But there will be a point at which they won't anymore, and I will have to figure out what to do with my desktop. So I'm on the lookout all the time. I also have an old laptop which did support Ubuntu, the Ubuntu Linux or whatever operating system. And Vivek showed me how to do that, but I found it was frustrating because it requires more time and frustration trying to recall how to use the darn thing. And so, and then I got this message, and the message was, give an old laptop a new life. Turn it into a Chromebook. So I was attracted to that. So Vivek, you can go on to the next one. So yeah, I was immediately interested because I knew I would find using Google products less frustrating and more enjoyable, because that's what I use on my desktop, that's what I use on my phone, and it made sense to me to want to use it on my laptop as well. And in my notes here, I say many of us have at least one old laptop kicking around, not being used because they have outdated Microsoft systems loaded on them. And from my friends that I spoke to last night, they were all nervous about getting rid of them because there's all kinds of information on those laptops that they don't want somebody else to have access to, so they don't take them to the recycle places because they're nervous about somebody accessing information about them. So there's a bunch of reasons why people have old laptops kicking around, it seems. So the next slide, Vivek. Okay, so as you can see, I found a YouTube that I wanted to give credit to Kevin Stravert for the YouTube that he did, and I'm sharing the YouTube link because I just found that his presentation it made it so clear and so easy to follow. I might say that there were a few other videos, but this one seemed to present things in a very clear and straightforward way. So now I don't know if I can, I will at some point try to take that link and put it in the chat. But I think I'm just going to not try to do that right this minute. So anyway, Kevin Stravert, and so it's how to install Chrome OS Flex. So that is well worth looking at. Okay, my my notes have disappeared again because we did something. I did something on my on my desktop. So you can go to the next slide. So I ran into some problems. I started out by trying to load this onto this old laptop that had the Linux Ubuntu, and man, did I ever need Vivek's help. But for any of you, if you're starting out with a system that has Microsoft, what is being suggested here will be a piece of cake. It just will be very, very easy. So now the next thing you need to know is what are the specs, or what are the minimum requirements that you need. And I took this straight from Kevin's video, so don't worry about this. If you go and find Kevin's video, you can get this. But I remember him saying in the presentation, you could use laptops that are as old as 10 or 12 years old. And so you can see that, what the minimum requirements are for RAM and hard drive space and etc. So, but what you need to be aware of is when you load this on a laptop, this will wipe everything that's on the laptop out and replace it with Chrome. So if you've got anything on the laptop that you want to keep, you got to deal with that first before you do this, because this will wipe the whole thing clean. The other thing that you need to be aware of is that you can't install a Play Store or any apps. This is the value in this, is that when you're dealing with Chrome, and this and when you're dealing with a Chromebook, for example, you're only dealing with working in the cloud. So you need to be aware of that right off the bat, so you know what you're dealing with. So next slide. Now, I will describe the process to you, just so you get an understanding of how it works. And I'm going to share a few screenshots so that you get to see what you would end up with. But before you start anything, you've got to make sure that you have an empty 8 gigabyte flash drive. So that's the one thing that you really, really need to start off with. Okay, so next slide. Now, you can see on this, I'm saying what there's some steps to do on your desktop, and then there's some steps to do on your laptop. And on your desktop, and that could be whatever desktop you're using, you would just open the Chrome Web Store and find and select the Chromebook Recovery Utility, it's called. And then you would add that as an extension, and then you would close the web store and then go to your Chrome browser, and you would need to activate that extension. And I'm making assumptions here that everybody knows about using extensions and how to activate them. I think Kevin made that assumption as well. But then, while you're still on the desktop, you would open the extension, and then you would download what you see there to your flash drive. And you need to know that if there's anything on that flash drive, this will wipe it out as well. So it's better to start with an empty flash drive. I would suggest. So so you've got the flash drive loaded, and then you go to your laptop and you insert that flash drive before you do anything. And as you're trying to boot up, it's important that you use the right button to do the boot up. And that was one of the things that we struggled with when we were doing it on mine. And so on the next slide, you're going to see that depending on what kind of a system you have, in terms of your laptop, it's going to be a different button you use to hit while you're doing a boot up. So on the next screen, you're going to see that. But just to finish the what happens in the process is you get the choice as to whether you want to just test this first, see if you like it, or you can choose to do a download. So depending on which one you choose, you just kind of, and again, as I say, when you're doing this boot up, when you're doing this, it's going to wipe everything off that laptop and just load in the Chrome. So you need to know that. And so then you just follow the instructions. It's pretty darn easy. So now you can see can you go to the next screen, Vivek? Thank you. You can see that depending on the kind of a laptop you have, the button that you press while you're doing the boot up it varies depending on the kind of system you have. So and this little screenshot I took directly off of Kevin's YouTube, so don't worry about needing to copy this or whatever. All you need to do is go find Kevin's presentation to see all of this. So now I want to kind of show you a few shots, and Vivek, you can go on to the next one. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to show you a few shots so you get a sense of what you get when you do it. Okay, so this is just a screenshot of what I got when I opened the Chrome browser on the laptop after it was loaded. So and I took the screenshot from the laptop itself. So everything you're going to see now, well, there are a few things that I couldn't do, so I took pictures using my phone. And so I'll explain as I go. So Vivek, if you want to go to the next slide. So here is, and I had to do this using my phone. For some reason, I could not do a screenshot of this from the laptop. So I opened it and took a picture of it with my phone. So, but I wanted to show you this because this is kind of what you would see. You can see along the bottom, there is the menu bar down there. But you can see way over on the left of that menu bar, there's a little circle. And what you're seeing on the screen now is what you would see if you click on that little circle. So as you might guess, well, maybe not. So at the very top, you will see something that says continue where you left off, and it will show the last 5 applications that you used. And then below that, you find all of those Google apps that you would expect to find. And I'm not going to list all of those, but there were a few extra ones that I found kind of surprising. So obviously there is Zoom, and there's Whereby, and there's Google Duo. That one I found surprising because it seems to me Google is doing something different with Duo. Then there's a video recorder, and then there's Playbooks and Play Movies. And I was kind of surprised about that because you have, I mean, those 2 things, if you can go in there and you can rent books or you can rent movies. So that sort of takes you to a store where you can get those things. You can, there is the Chrome web store so that you can download additional extensions. And you, I mean, there seem to be quite a lot of Google extensions, and those happen inside the Chrome browser. But the other one I found was interesting was Dropbox was there. And then Hello Sign, that wasn't surprising, and YouTube Music. So there are a number of a few things there that that I found sort of surprising. So that gives you an idea of what is available to you if you go this route. So Vivek, if you want to go to the next screen. Now this is just showing the typical calendar, which I find in everything that I use. So you're gonna, if 1 minute I'm using the calendar on my phone, I could be using the calendar on this laptop, or I could be using the calendar on my desktop, all of those. So I just wanted you to see, and you can do all the adjustments, and you can see down the right hand side all of the extra items, down the right hand side, Vivek, if you're pointing way up at the top there, you can see that those are all part of your calendar settings if you choose to use them. So your tasks and your keep and all of that. So it's no different from anywhere else that you use. So I just showed this. I mean, I could have showed all the others, but calendars seem to be the most appropriate to show. That it's really no different from anywhere else that you use calendar. So, and Vivek, if you want to go to the next screen, please. This is a screenshot of what you see when you check the YouTube. And I was able to click on one of those YouTubes and play the YouTube, and not a problem. So, and the next screen, Vivek. And you can start up a Zoom. It works here. Though if you're using an old web or laptop, you might want to plug in a decent webcam, because those old laptops don't have the camera, and those are not absolutely wonderful. But you can start up a Zoom, and you see all the appropriate settings. And I was interested to see that from with this Chromebook place, you get to see everything that you normally see in Zoom. Unlike a tablet, if you're trying to do a Zoom from within a tablet, you don't see the same things at all. So but this is the same as you would see if you were using your desktop or whatever. So I wanted to point that out. The next slide, Vivek. So I was messing around trying to discover how to do screenshots using this system, and there is a way to do it, but it took me a little while to figure out how to do it. But so this, what you see on the screen here is me discovering how to do a screenshot. And this is what I found when I opened YouTube Music. And it doesn't look as though you have to pay for it. It looks like there's just music there that coming through YouTube, and you can click on it and listen. So that was I had some curiosity about what's this YouTube Music thing. So anyway, and I was able to I finally figured out how to do a screenshot. So having said that, even though I was looking at a system that I'm really used to using, all of the Google products, nonetheless, there is going to be a bit of a learning curve here. Oh, how do you do this, and where do you go to do that, etc. It's not going to be 100% the same. That was a discovery. So now we decided that we should talk about the pros and cons of doing this. And so in terms of the pros, it loads up fast. So you're not the system is, because you're only linking to things in the cloud. There's not a whole lot of stuff that needs to load, so it loads up fairly quickly. And I see as a major pro is that the online system, because it's a Google online system, it's going to be up to date. It's going to be up to date all the time, I think. And I messed around trying to figure out what I can do and what I can't do. I was able to go and work on the back end of my website, not a problem. And of course, you can also download a variety of extensions, and some of them may work. The ones that you use on your desktop, some of them may work well, or they may not. They may not work exactly the same way, but there are extensions that you can do. So those were some pros. The cons, I discovered, now I use LastPass for my passwords. I was able to sort of set that up. It's in there as an extension, and I was able to set it up, but it means that when you're working on the Chromebook, you need to have the LastPass open, and it requires a couple of extra steps. It's not quite as automatic as it is when you're using your desktop, I found. The major thing for me, and David, you and I might want to think about this and talk about this sometime down the road, but what I discovered is that when I want to watch the Wealthy Affiliate workshops, when I was trying to watch Jay's workshop on Friday night, I was able to hear him, but the video showed up as a black screen. And I say,
I was just grunting, or question, just like,
Well,
I didn't.
oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
So I had asked, I sent a message to Jay to see if we could figure out why. And I also put a question into WA, and somebody answered, and the answer wasn't adequate. So there's a little piece that requires a bit more research, let's say.
Yeah.
So now,
Filmora isn't there a website version of Filmora?
say again.
Isn't there a website version of Filmora where you can actually work on the website as opposed to working on your desktop?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're saying you can't use OBS, you can't use Filmora or GIMP.
Okay.
In terms of, and I don't know about Filmora. If there's I don't know if there's one that works in the cloud or not.
Yeah.
In terms of GIMP, well, we have access to Canva, and Canva has both versions. You can download to your computer, or you can use it in the cloud. So, but OBS, it didn't seem like there was any way we could do that using this. So
Yeah, because it has to be. You don't have files on your computer; they're all on the cloud. Now, can you access your like when I'm on my desktop, I can access my Google Drive as if it's files.
Yeah.
I can open up a file and whatnot. Can you do that with this?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are a number of extensions. I did mention that there are a number of extensions that don't work in the same way, Chrome extensions. But anyway, so those were some pros and cons that, Vivek and I spent a bit. We didn't spend a whole lot of time, but we spent a bit of time, looking around. So Vivek, if you want to go to the next screen, please. So our conclusion. This would be great for everyday activities like watching Netflix or Knowledge Network and answering emails and things like that. But it is not suitable for complex activities. We decided that Linux and Ubuntu would be more suitable alternative to Microsoft than this would be. But nonetheless, it makes that laptop useful for a number of things that you still do. So now the other thing was Vivek thought of a business case for using this, and I invite Vivek to unmute himself and kind of share what the business case that he thought of.
Yeah, business case is, here we are all solopreneurs, either as a startup or maybe we have been running our business for a long time, but mostly one man or one woman
Operation.
setup,
Yeah.
operation.
Mm-hmm.
But let us say we become successful and then suddenly we want to hire another person, let's say. Then does it mean that you need to go out and buy new hardware, new laptop or desktop or things like that for that person? No. That's where this thing comes in. You can use your old desktop or laptop, convert it into Chrome, give it to that new person. You buy your brand new computer and use it for your purposes. So you have grown in business.
Yeah, because the new, well, of course, depending on what the new employee might be doing, but for the most part, a brand new employee probably would only need what can be done using this Chrome OS Flex. Yeah. So rather than just now. I think that was a worthwhile thing. So now, if you go to the next slide, now we hope that this review was helpful, and I'm just asking what questions that you might have. And I saw Fred waving, so maybe you can stop sharing now, Vivek.
You want me to talk?
Go ahead. What did you have a question or a comment?
First, I was waving to Dave because he said goodbye. But I do have a question as well. So when you started in your first slide, you said you have to use your desktop to download onto the flash drive, and then you use the flash drive into your laptop. Can you not do that on your laptop to download?
Yes, you could. Yes, you could.
Because, and that makes sense because it sounds like, oh, you have to have a desktop and a laptop to do this, which is, I didn't think would be the case, but it would appear to some people you would. So that answers that.
Yeah, but in the situation where we are talking about an old laptop which is sitting somewhere in your cupboard somewhere else, and you're not using it, but you have another, which typically means you have another computer.
Yeah.
You have an old one sitting somewhere, you have another one, and now you're trying to use the old one which is sitting somewhere. You're trying to bring it back to life, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you use your existing thing, create the flash drive, you bring out the old one, plug it in, and start using it. That's what was meant.
Yeah.
In that slide.
But you could have have a new laptop.
Yeah.
And use that to download to the flash drive because the old one is probably something you want to. Okay, that makes sense.
But I did see in a video that you could do everything that we did from the old laptop.
Yeah.
You could do it that way as well.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. That's all. It makes sense because I tried to do that on one of my laptops that I finally gave away with Ubuntu, because then you could, the same sort of thing, download it first and. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. The other thing I would mention while I've got the conch, so to speak, is for example, Zoom on a Chromebook does not operate exactly the same facilities as you do on your Windows. So depending on what you want to do in Zoom, be careful. So some of them, and I think you mentioned that in a couple other applications. My challenge when I had, because I have a Chromebook now, thanks to Vivek. When I run Zoom on the Chromebook, I cannot do recordings, and it now has additional steps. And that's just another example, like you said, when you wanted to use your password. I can't remember LastPass or what it was called. You need additional steps sometimes. So you can do an enormous amount, but and the Google Drive works extremely well. It works the same on the Chromebook, and that's where you want to share, and that feature is so much better than Windows, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's really great.
Well, with Zoom, I guess the question that would arise for me you can't do a recording because you can't download to your computer, but you could record to the cloud if you have the pro version of Zoom.
Yeah, I'm talking about when I join a lot of Zoom meetings, and I want people. Well, even if I want to record on my account, it doesn't offer me that facility whatsoever. I don't think it
That's
would help
interesting.
even to have the pro version.
Oh,
I think, but I don't know. I don't have a pro version. I just have a normal version.
yeah.
There's no button to record at all when I'm running on the Chromebook. Either way, either if I use my account or I'm on.
Yeah, but as that's one of the major differences between free Zoom and Zoom Pro is you get
No, it's not. I can record with free. I do all my recordings with free. Zoom.
but you download it to your account, your own computer.
Yeah, which is what I want to do anyway.
Yeah, but that's
And
what
it's
I'm saying. If you want to record to the cloud, that's part of the Zoom Pro.
Oh, maybe that's
Yeah.
why I don't have the button.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's true. I
Yeah.
don't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Anyway,
And-
I think the comment is that some things you want to use you cannot use, like OBS, and some you can, but you need additional steps.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And there are different ways of, there are some learning curves. There was for me, for example, in terms of trying to do screenshots. Took me a little while, but I did finally figure it out. Yeah.
Mm.
But I would think it's a great use of a old laptop. By all means, it'll be much faster, much better
Yeah.
in many ways. Depending on what you want, you may have a couple
Yeah.
hiccups. But I tried to do Ubuntu, and I came across a lot of problems by uploading Ubuntu on it. And my biggest problem was my wireless adapter on my computer would not work on the internet. And that, if you can't get the internet, you're dead.
Yeah.
So I actually bought this dongle
Yeah.
for that. And even this was a challenge to get it to work. And it says with Linux support ticket. This has a Linux support ticket on this dongle. I don't know.
Right.
I know it's not showing
Can't
up.
see it. No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I got into that complicated and became using Ubuntu on my laptop, particular one,
Yeah.
because the wireless adapter would not work. And I spent hours trying to sort that out. And eventually just said, no, Ubuntu is great, but it's not going to work on that laptop.
Well,
Well,
and what I think the message from this is to, I mean, depending on what you want to do and what activities you want to do, is to be aware of what you can do with this and what you can't do with this and what you can do with that. So, but I still, I'm kind of happy with changing over on my laptop. So
I wish I had known about this
Yeah.
when I tried Ubuntu. And
yeah,
I'm sure it would have been much easier and much
Yeah.
better, and probably I would have been able to use that laptop for it. It would have been much better. So,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have had this problem with the Ubuntu not having the wireless adapter drivers, which was
Right.
really challenging. So I thought, I think it would be a great way to use a laptop with and have Chromebook facilities. That would be wonderful.
great on. Any other comments or questions before we close, Paul?
Yeah, I want to thank you for doing this. I work with a not-for-profit, and it deals with elderly people. And one of the biggest challenges in COVID and going forward is the number of services that they have to be able to be online with. We found some very good instructors, and we've got that part of it. But this is going to give us the capacity to find old equipment and repurpose it. So this has been hugely beneficial to me. Thank you.
Oh, super. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. So, any other comments or questions before we close?
Yeah, I just had, I mean, we were talking about Ubuntu being complicated or hard to understand or use, or it's I mean, and I mean, I think I have had this discussion with you, LowellAnn, probably yesterday or whatever. It's like Ubuntu and Linux, etc. They are all like aeroplanes. And Windows is like a car, say. You want to drive across the country, probably you can use your Windows machine. And you want to go across the continent, probably you need an aeroplane. Maybe a small plane with just, I mean, 2 engines and just something, but it will still take off. But you need a license.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to use it. Yeah. You know how to drive a car. Doesn't mean you can jump into the plane and try to fly it. It won't work. Same thing. So it is more powerful, but because it can cross continents.
Right.
But you need to know how to use it. So
that's an interesting metaphor.
Yeah, if I could add, I think the transition from using a PC to using Chrome is so much easier, much easier.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Then it would be to be used to Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked when I got the Chromebook and started using it. It was so easy. Everything was there. Anything I had in Google Drive, everything was there. It really made life easy.
Yeah.
The browser I was using was Chrome anyway on my PC, so it just fell into place.
Yeah.
It's just the little things that, you know.
Yeah.
But on the whole, everything is there. It's just so easy to transition. So to train somebody up, if they've been on the internet, even specifically if they've been using Chrome, wow, it's so much easier. So I can see this in Paul's case might be a great thing. And Paul, I might have a laptop for you. So.
Right on. Okay. So, having said all that, I'm looking, I've got 2 minutes to get to my appointment. So I do want to thank you all for joining me. Our next session will be on the 25th, I think it is. And the topic will be, what do you need to learn now? It never stops. It never ends, you know. Having said that, I'm going to do the outro and thank you so much. So I'm going to David, I would really like you and I to sort of see if we can figure out what to do about WA.
Okay.
When you have time.
Yeah, I will get a hold of you.
Yeah.
The things should slow down here after today. So.
Right on.
Okay.
All righty.
I need to leave. So everybody have a great.
I'm closing this off as well.
Okay.
Stop YouTube.
Good topic for next meeting. I like it.
Yeah. Well, we've got things to learn.
Yeah, that's a great topic. Okay, bye.
Bye now.